What are you guys at Temper doing to change all of this?
So the what we're doing is we're helping people pick up intermittent fasting as a habit and a lifestyle. And the main product we've designed to do that are Citravarin fasting mints. And what these are is these are a cannabinoid. So they're in the same family as CBD and THC, non-psychoactive cannabinoid. And what it does is it acts on the same receptor in your brain that causes the munchies, but instead of activating that receptor, it blocks it. And so it gives you the anti-munchies for about 3 to 5 hours, which is perfect for cutting out snacking is step one for a lot of people,
Yeah.
or cutting out uh, snacking between dinner and bedtime, or eventually expanding to a more full intermittent fasting lifestyle. And so that's our main product.
Yeah, I was looking at the research behind that, and I thought that this is fascinating. I'm like, wow, I would really be interested in taking this Citravin and using it to do longer term fasts, like 36 hours or 72 hours. Is that something that you do personally, or I'm just kind of curious?
Yeah, it is. So my fasting style is I on weekdays I fast. I have a black espresso in the morning, and then I fast until 6, 7 o'clock at night until dinner time on weekdays. And then twice a year, I do a 5 day fast. And that is all about what I was saying before about pushing my body into different metabolic modes. So on a typical workday, that means I'm going like 3 or 4 steps deep on that sort of metabolic stretch. And then I'm going into those 72 hour, like very deep uh, autophagy, uh, stem cell rejuvenation kind of fasts on those longer fasts periodically. And the way I use Citravarin is I take 1 mint on work days right before when I would typically have had lunch. So about 11:30, 12 o'clock. I take a Citravarin mint, and then on those longer fasts, usually like days 2 and 3 are the really hard ones, and I'll use the Citravarin to reduce my cravings right before bed on those days.
Oh, interesting. Is there any problems with doing an excess of Citravarin? I could see myself popping them every couple 3 hours or something. Almost like just really as a habit thing. It's just more of a
Yeah,
feels good. It's comfortable. It's comforting to me. But yeah, I'm curious. Any problems with that?
yeah, no, I mean they've given a lot of it to rodents, and I've taken a lot of them before, and yeah, there's not really a problem there.
Okay, good. And then and actually, I want to get your take on this before I ask about just client results and kind of what you guys are seeing over there in terms of testimonials and stuff. But I was so excited to have you on because I really want to get your take on fasting. Right now, there is a lot of debate on fasting. Before I remember hearing, maybe just 5 years ago or even 10 years ago, intermittent fasting. This is the amazing. This is the cure all. 16-8. And now I'm hearing guys, Huberman, Atia, and some of the big guys
Hmm.
out there, and they're saying, I just had Rob Wolf on my podcast recently, and he's
Okay.
from the paleo diet. He's pretty
Hmm.
well known, does keto, does carnivore. He's done all these things, and he was saying, Joel, fasting in 20 years we'll be saying this is the biggest joke ever, and it's a complete joke, and they're saying that it doesn't do what it says. All it is what some of these experts are saying is it's just caloric restriction basically, and that's why people who intermittent fast, yeah, they're losing weight, they're having better metabolic markers, but it's really, you could do the same thing with caloric restriction. Now,
Uh-huh.
I think they're referring to intermittent fasting only. They're not talking about these longer fasts that we're talking about, the 24, the 36, the 72. I think obviously you can't debate that there's something going on there. Those are working. But in terms of just intermittent fasting, what do you think? Is it just caloric restriction, or do you say, no, I disagree?
Yeah, I disagree.
Beautiful. I'm so
So,
happy to hear this.
yeah, there's sort of two arguments that people will make to say, oh, intermittent fasting is just calorie restriction, or intermittent fast is just a CR hack, and the other is intermittent fasting is only useful because it causes weight loss. And neither of those are true. There have been a couple recent intermittent fasting studies, pretty large studies that didn't go well, and those are very, making the rounds right now. So what we learned in those studies is that 14 to 16 hour fasts are likely not long enough for most people for most of the benefits of intermittent fasting. But we've seen other studies, for example, where they'll give people, they'll have two groups, and one group will get 3 meals a day, and one group will get 2 meals a day. Same exact food, same exact calorie content, but one group just has it all packed in. And they usually pack it in the morning. So those are the studies that have seen the best results. And then they'll have an 18-hour fast. And in those groups, 0 calorie restriction, the intermittent fasting group loses weight. 0 calorie restriction.
Yeah.
And there are other studies where they control for weight, and they have the two groups maintain the same weight, but again, use an intermittent fasting protocol. And the intermittent fasting group has improved metabolic markers. So they have lower A1C, which means better blood sugar regulation, and they have a better LDL HDL ratio, which shows better lipid metabolism. So I get where they're coming from, but that is not backed by the evidence.
I love it.